Hey guys, it's Amber. Welcome to today's video. It's going to be a chit chat, get ready with me, and it is going to be a juicy one. I've got lots to say. I don't know about you. Maybe if you're a content creator on YouTube, you'll understand, but Little Miss has not been sleeping very good, and she's been teething, and I woke up extra early today, so I was trying to lay back down, and I got her back down to sleep, and I just kept thinking, and I was like, I gotta make a video on this today. I just felt like all these things were just spiraling around in my head, and I was like, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about the YouTube meltdowns. I mean, it seems like since Shane Dawson and Bunny came out with their video, like everyone's suddenly speaking their truths, and we all know that every YouTuber at some point has had a meltdown. It's nothing new, but it seems to be more popular these days, if you will. And maybe you haven't noticed it, maybe it's not who you follow, but it's been an influx of people having their meltdowns, and I kind of came to my realization about YouTube before this all happened, so I'm good. Like, no meltdowns happening here. But I just thought it'd be fun to talk about YouTube, the evolution of YouTube, why so many YouTubers are having meltdowns, and just like kind of chit chat about it. Not like gossip about anyone, because I'm not into the drama. It's interesting, the evolution of what's happened. So I'm just going to have a real quick get ready with me. I'm not going to be showing anything exciting. I'm just getting ready. So I'll show you real quick what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using the ColourPop Golden State of Mind and my Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. I know some of you guys want to see more looks with this, and I just picked this up. So I just wanted to use that a little bit more. For foundation, I'm going to use the Cover FX Blurring Primer and the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. And concealer is the Essence Camouflage Concealer. I'm going to use my Pacifica Naturalizing Powder, my Pure Bronze and Brighten for all of the contour and highlight. I'm going to use this Smudge Pop from e.l.f. This is in Why Not. Trying to dig out some oldies that I haven't used as much. The Brow Power from It Cosmetics I'm going to use. And if there's anything else, probably this Tarte Mascara. If there's anything else, I'll just kind of show you as I go along. I think lip color is going to be Roxy from AOA Studios. So, kind of got that out of the way. I'll try to list everything down below. Let's just get to it. I've made some notes because there's a lot that I want to talk about. You know what? And I just want to say, obviously, these are all my opinions. These are not facts. These are just things that I think. And there might be things that I've mentioned about YouTube that it's like, well, no, that's always been the case. Like, that was along way before this was along. Or, you know, I might not have everything in the correct order, or there might have been things that were popular before or after. I'm just kind of giving a general overview of how I've seen things. So if I don't get it perfect, just kind of, you know, understand. These are my opinions, and you are welcome to have your own opinions. I just want you guys to start thinking about this and just share how you guys feel about this too. I'm generally, as a creator who's been on YouTube a long time, I'm interested in how people view this, but I think I have a little different perspective because I haven't been one to make it big, so I don't feel like money influences my opinion as much as other people's, because when it's your livelihood, you may look at it a lot differently, but I feel like at the same time, I can see both sides of the coin because I have had a little bit more of that YouTube experience versus the normal average watching person who enjoys watching YouTube videos. Alright, so first off, I just want to start off with just how YouTube was in the beginning. I mean, it's obvious that the YouTube platform has changed. Back in the day, you uploaded a video and people watched it. I remember the very first tutorial I ever uploaded was a Jennifer Aniston makeup look, and I put some music in it that I wasn't supposed to, so I had to take it down, and within the first day, it had 400 views. It had 400 views in the first day. Like, I mean, that's just kind of how it was. Like, I felt like views were a little bit easier to come by, and there was so many people excited about the platform and getting into the platform, and there wasn't as many creators. I mean, so that just right there. I mean, saturation for videos. I mean, you could actually make a video and be one of 100 videos instead of one of 100,000 videos. I mean, so that itself has just changed. I mean, that's like anything, you know? When gluten-free and organic started being popular, you had like the one brand. So everyone would buy that one brand. Well then, you know, just like anything else, people come out and they start doing the same thing and the price can drop because there's more competition. It's just the way the world works, and as things are noticed, they become more popular, more people want to go there, and you know, all the economics of it that I'm not really an expert on, but I've just seen the way people have been drawn to the platform. So at first, no one got paid on YouTube. I mean, it was literally a place that people came to do a hobby, and you know, it was the funny videos and cat videos and kid videos, and then you know, the makeup thing started. And when the makeup thing started, I think it gained popularity pretty fast, but there was like a complete explosion, you know, at one point. But it was like suddenly all this information that had not been accessible to normal people became accessible. I mean, some people, if you didn't know how to do a French braid, you just didn't know. If your mom didn't know, then you didn't know. If your best friend didn't know, you didn't know. Like, unless you went to hair school, you just didn't learn to do that, because who was going to sit down and teach you how to do this? And suddenly, right in the comfort of your own home, you can learn how these people do this. And most of the time, it wasn't professionals. In the beginning, it was just people who were like, hey, this is how I curl my hair. Hey, this is how I do this. It was mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing for people to create this way to make this information just so accessible. And so you had what basically became the birth of the YouTube makeup artist. I mean, you had people who were getting recognized as makeup artists who had no prior training. They just basically applied makeup to themselves. Well, the professional community started getting wind of this, and so then you had people like the Pixie Woo sisters, or people that are actual, Lisa Eldridge, that are actual makeup artists, and they started joining the platform and bringing a little bit more professionalism to it. And so you had a lot of different sides. You had these really professional videos, you had the fun, relaxed webcam videos that were kind of quirky, but it just seemed like there was kind of room for everyone, you know? And you had a lot of people who filmed on their MacBooks. I couldn't believe how much, when I first started, I just wanted a MacBook to film like so-and-so did, you know? And you had a lot of these young girls. They were just so young. The average age, I think, in the beginning was like 15 to maybe 20. You had mostly these young girls filming it in their bedroom, and they were girls that just had a little bit more know-how, I guess, than the rest of the world. And so they were showing tutorials on how to do these looks. And for a lot of people, it was just so fun and exciting. It seemed like in the beginning there wasn't so much editing. It wasn't so, I mean, you would have, what was it, Pansia 61 or something? She did a lot of makeup tutorials. She wouldn't edit at all. They would be like 30-minute videos. She would show her mistakes. She would just talk. She would not edit out anything. And she would just go with it. She would just do her makeup, and you just kind of got to see it come through. But then, you know, you started to get a little bit more of, well, who has money is going to be who progresses. The people who had money to buy products, the people who had money to buy the equipment, were the ones who end up being more successful. Because if you just had a webcam, it just wasn't going to be good enough anymore. People started to raise their game. And then you started getting more brands taking notice. People were like, what is this YouTube thing? I mean, what are people doing over here? People are coming and buying our product. Why are they buying this product? And this was going hand in hand, the blogging thing, because blogging kind of came out first, and then YouTube came out. I mean, it might have been there before, but the beauty community evolved to be more prevalent, I think, or as prevalent in YouTube as it was in the blogosphere. So suddenly brands are like, wow, these influencers are making such a big influence on what people are buying. Hey, this such and such thing was just talked about, and now it's selling like crazy. And I feel like that's when the first sponsorship started coming out, but it was completely under the radar. I feel like there were some really young girls who were getting offered money, and you know, right around this time they started bringing out the partnership program, and so you had this money kind of being transferred almost like a black market. You know, people weren't really expected to disclose. It wasn't really talked about disclosing. And, you know, I think these girls were so young. A lot of them, you think about like Juicy Star 07 and Bethany Moda and Megan Hart's Makeup and some of these young girls who were just starting out doing this. And I know some of them even signed contracts with big networks, and, you know, they were just really young. It started coming out that I remember people were attacking some of these YouTubers about, you're being sponsored, blah, blah, blah. And that was a huge issue, if you guys remember that. And people would come out and say, no, 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 we're not getting paid, we're not getting paid. And then it came out, well, yeah, we're getting paid. And then they had to start, you know, disclaiming that they were getting paid. And it just, everything kind of changed. And then it seemed like the word sponsorship was like a bad word. Like if someone said the word sponsor, someone would be unsubscribe, click off. You know, everyone was so turned off from sponsorships because we found out that there were some people during that time who you thought were giving honest, genuine reviews. They had actually purchased this product and they hadn't been being truthful. So then suddenly sponsorship was this really dirty, ugly word that nobody wanted to hear. I feel like we've come back around where people can understand sponsorships, and if they're not done annoyingly, it's not immediate like deal breaker. If they're sponsored, it's a deal breaker. But you know, then it was the same thing with the ads. At first you just had the little ads at the bottom of your video that would come across. And I remember when the ads, the pre-roll ads started, and I remember influencers saying, I'll never have those ads in the front of my video. That's so annoying. You know, now it has changed the fact, whether it's algorithm or whatever, viewership, I don't care what you want to call it. Now, you know, I have more than one ad in my video because it's just the way it is. Now, if you have a 10-minute video and you have 10 ads, I'm not here for it. That's just me personally. But if I have a 20-minute video and I have one before, if you want to watch one after, sure, fine, whatever. Put one in the middle, whatever. Okay, I'm going to do that because it helps sustain my channel. There was a time when doing that was not even having one at the beginning was just so taboo than having two. But then some influencers just started adding more ads, and slowly the thoughts of it have just kind of changed, especially now that more brands are in. And the thing is like giveaways. I have a whole video on this. Giveaways were such a huge part of it in the beginning. That's how you got subscribers, was holding these giveaways. Or reviewing makeup when it first came out. I mean, if you ran to Sephora the day of and got a palette out, you could be the first to review it, and you would get a lot of views. Well, now with PR, and PR is great. It gives people the chance to review products before they release, and I have no problem with people that get PR. But it did change the way that YouTube was formed, because no longer was it accessible for you to run the day of to Sephora and get a palette and get it up that same day and get a lot of views. It really went to the people who had built up a platform first. And brands, you know, were noticing this. They were sending out more PR. You know, people first, you know, were like, oh, I'm so sick of PR. But then at the same time, they want the influencers to review the products. Some of these influencers don't have the money to shill out, but some of them do. And so it just becomes a very interesting situation. And I feel like there's lots of polarizing opinions about all these different topics, that some people are like, oh, I can't stand PR unboxings. And other people are like, well, I get to see a bunch of new makeup released. I feel like in the beginning, though, that people loved to see new makeup. Like when Urban Decay, like when it first started getting the naked palettes and stuff, the fact that they were dropping a new palette was like revolutionary. Like they were so excited about this new palette drop that people would just die for it. And then it was like once a year, and then it was like once a season, and then it was like every day. And then, you know, Kylie Cosmetics comes out with like a palette every week, and it just became more and more and more, and then people were like, whoa, 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 whoa. And not just with makeup. I mean, YouTube has had several trends throughout the years. Now you see any people, any age doing YouTube. I used to feel like I was really old when I started YouTube. I was like 25, and I felt like, oh, I'm kind of old to be doing this. But now you have influencers, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, like any age can be an influencer, which I think is amazing. I feel like there's room for everyone on this platform. Everyone should have an ability to create their channel, express what they want to express. And so I like that it's more, not so much like, oh man, you're so old, you're not supposed to be doing YouTube. What, you know? And this also is good and bad, because for influencers that were started very young, a lot of them got kind of a way of doing their channel. And then as they got older, they had to make a choice. Do I grow with my audience, or do I stay the same? And I think a lot of YouTubers found their niche as far as what they were known for, and they just kept doing it. And I think, you know, as much as we're like, oh, the YouTube algorithm, I think a lot of the problem with the reason why viewership on YouTube is down is, one, People are bored. People are bored of YouTube. It is a trend. And they're kind of bored of it. And the same people that were watching our videos at 16, 17, 18, now they're older. They went to college. They've got jobs. They've got families. Like, their priorities are different. Maybe they're not makeup obsessed like they were when they're going clubbing every night. Remember when clubbing looks were like all the rage? Everyone was doing clubbing looks. And like, who does clubbing looks anymore? Like, hardly anyone. Because I don't know that the people watching our videos, and maybe they are, it's like the viewership as a whole has changed. And so a lot of channels had to evolve and rediscover themselves. And it's been interesting. You think about all the different trends there has been in YouTube. I mean, first, obviously makeup tutorials, and like I said, not all of these are going to be in the exact order, but these are just some that I remembered. You've got the OTDs. I mean, everyone is posting outfit of the days. It would be literally a video of one outfit, what you were wearing that day. And, you know, you'd be doing the posing, and I've done many of these. Then it was an outfit of the week. So you'd have girls in high school, and they'd be showing their outfit of the week, and, you know, hey, that's what I wore to school today. And it literally was, you turn on the camera every day before you went to work or school or wherever, and filmed your outfit. Well, then it started to be pre-filmed, and people would be so angry. They're like, you pre-filmed these, you filmed these all in one day. And it was like, who cares? Who cares if they're filmed it all in one day? And there were some girls that were very famous for doing the outfit of the weeks back in the day. They got a lot of flack for having pre-filmed ones. So then suddenly it wasn't outfit of the week, it was lookbooks. Everyone was doing lookbooks. It was known that you're filming these all in one day. They were to showcase outfits that you weren't actually wearing them. It's like, okay, it's the same thing. It's just changing the title. It's just, it gets a little silly. But then we got into the DIY everything. I mean, DIY your phone case, DIY your own keychain, DIY your face, your parents, your children. Like, I think we do DIY our own children. Most of us anyway. I mean, DIY your own clothing, how to cut things, and DIY jewelry. Like, if you weren't DIYing on your channel, you were basically dying. Like, I'm not a big DIYer, and so I tried to do like DIY earrings or something because that's what was getting views, but it wasn't really my forte, so it wasn't something that I really wanted to excel in. But there were some channels that were DIY queens, and they just skyrocketed to the top. Like, they rode that trend, and they just, once they got up there with their subscriber base, most of their subscribers loved them enough that even if they changed away from DIY, they were still good. And not saying that DIY isn't still popular, but there was a time when it was like the thing. So then we moved into, you know, tags. Everyone was tagged, this tag, that tag. Everyone was tagging each other, tags. And that was really huge. We also had our moment with hacks. Probably a long moment. I mean, I can't even explain to you how many videos I came across that were like, hacks, testing hacks, Pinterest hacks, hacks, putting your makeup on with a knife, putting your makeup on with this egg wrapped in plastic. I mean, it just became so insane that people were making up hacks to make their life easier that they would literally never do. Like, why would you need to put on your makeup with an egg wrapped in plastic? Like, you know, and some of them were nice, like, oh, look at this cool little thing, and got the booby blenders with the inserts, and some of them are funny and entertaining. I totally get that, and some of them might have been useful. But it just got to be this extreme, like, what's the weirdest thing we can put our makeup on with? Let's put our makeup on with a Tamagotchi, with a fidget spinner, with a pine cone. I don't think that's been done. Hey, I claim that. Makeup with a pine cone. Just kidding. But it just literally got to the point where it was just so weird. Everyone was just kind of going bonkers. And it's because it was what people were wanting. They were tired of the traditional makeup tutorial. Because let's be honest, at this point, we've seen kind of every kind of way to braid hair. We've seen every way to curl your hair with a flat iron. There's really not something revolutionary that any of us can do that are that different. Then we come into the world of unboxing. Everything was an unboxing. Everyone wanted to see everything unboxed, clothing unboxes. It wasn't even really hauls. I mean, we did have the huge haul period, which I forgot to mention. Hauls were life. Hauls were everything. Hauls are OTDs, but then it was unboxings. You want to unbox your soap. You want to unbox your bath bombs. You want to unbox your lotions and your underwear and your brushes and anything now that a PR company has sent to you that you don't want to talk about in that way. You just say, I'm unboxing this. Makeup subscription boxes, BoxyCharms, FitFatFun, Ipsy. I mean, unboxings were everywhere. And as you guys know, I don't unbox my BoxyCharm in the same way I did before because I realized that most of you were bored of it. So I do my Beat the Box challenge as a way to spice it up, because you guys were kind of bored with just being like, yeah, I've seen what you got. The same thing as 500,000 other people. I will unbox it on my Instagram. If people want to watch it, they can. But it's like, I'm trying to evolve, even though I know that my channel's boring. I'm not drama. I'm not exciting. I don't have this crazy life that's wild, that everyone knows everything that's in my business, because that's what I choose to have my channel. That's what I'm willing to sacrifice to do this. I want to have a pretty normal life and make these videos for fun. And I'm here to be your friend, and I'm here to chat with you, and I'm here to talk about makeup or life or things that we want to talk about, but I'm not expecting to be anything revolutionary, and I'm not willing to create a different persona or put on an act or be something I'm not. I gotta put eyeliner on, but I can't stop talking. And so I've accepted that that's what fact is my channel is. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Okay, so my liner took a ridiculously long time, but we're just gonna move on. I just did off camera because I can't chat a million miles a minute and do my eyeliner. I did my hair really quick. I'll put on my mascara. I don't remember exactly where I was, but we're talking about all the Pinterest hacks and all the craziness. And then it's like we got into this weird slime phase where everything was about slime, and it was like kids videos and like kids toy channels, and kids toy stuff was just like blowing up. And a lot of that was like kids watching it, but people were like, well, views are views, you know, because let's be honest, at that point, they needed to get the views consistent to make a consistent living. And I saw some beauty channels or DIY channels that completely just turned to slime. But I'm like, how long can you make slime videos, and how long can you make different slime videos that are actually interesting? So I'm sure when slime comes and goes, like fidget spinners and everything else that's been super popular with kids, you're gonna have to find something else. I am getting to a whole point with this, with the YouTuber meltdowns, though. So then we moved into anti-consumerism with the anti-hauls, and you guys know my stance on that. I've been making anti-hauls for a while, but I did not make them popular. Anyway, regardless of who started it, the craze happened. Everyone was doing anti-hauls, even people who, you know, were just like, buy, Morphe, Morphe, Morphe. We're suddenly wanting to do anti-hauls because, it's what got the views. So everyone kind of jumped on that train, which is great and fine and everything, but you got a shift where people started unsubscribing from makeup boxes, and they started coming and thinking, do I really need this? And everyone kind of took a step back and was like, whoa, like, why are we buying all these things? Like, people are shoving down our throats. Like, I feel like people haven't stopped buying, but they've started thinking, like, what is it that I really, really need? Do I need to be buying all these things because my favorite influencer told me to? So some channels kind of lost motion because if they were mostly about buying products and stuff, people kind of stopped watching reviews. People weren't interested in buying. People wanted to watch anti-hauls. And I feel like that kind of had its moment. And I feel like that's even kind of passing. And now I feel like even my anti-hauls aren't as popular because people are kind of like, oh, you know, that was the thing. It had its moment. And it's kind of going down. And not that it's not still popular, people don't love it, but it was just like everybody loved it. And now the people who always loved it still love it, if that makes sense. And then, you know, of course, for the last couple of years, we've entered into the drama phase where everyone doesn't really want to watch beauty influencers. They just want to watch the drama about them. We want to know, what's the tea? What's this tea? Spilling the tea. Everyone's spilling the tea. And it's really popular. Everybody loves to watch. And there are some, like I've said, there's some drama influencers that I feel like are funny and entertaining, but there's some that I do not support or watch, and I do not condone bullying in any sort of form. That is not okay. But so all of this is happening, and you just have to think, if you started YouTube at 14, 16, at 20, is what you're going to be creating 5 years, 10 years, 7 years later? Is it going to be the same content? Are you going to evolve with your audience? So if you're still making DIY and slime videos, even though you have 2 million subscribers, maybe they aren't interested in that anymore. Maybe people are just bored of makeup tutorials. Maybe they are bored of unboxings. Maybe people are just kind of bored of YouTube. And even though viewership and subscriber count has never really added up unless you're someone who's like super uber, like amazing, that always has good views. But for most people, like, everyone is kind of taking a hit. And there are some that have diversified themselves, stand out above the crowd. But there's some of us who haven't, and I think some of us, like me, I'm okay being where I'm at. I feel like Emily Noel 83 is okay being where she's at. She's going to keep chugging out good, honest reviews, good content, and she's going to be there when you need her. And there might be a time where her channel spikes, and a time when her channel, people are like, I'm not really as interested in makeup reviews. I'm kind of over buying makeup. And that's okay. That's just the way that this community ebbs and flows. For example, Emily, her husband's a lawyer. He makes money and has a job, and she does this as her job. So I'm pretty sure that if her YouTube income, for whatever reason, because of advertising, or YouTube hates me and they're not putting my notifications out or whatever, we know those issues exist. That's not going to affect her to the point where she's going to come on camera crying because she put all her eggs in one basket. Now, for those people who their husbands quit their job and they are full-time vloggers and they are full-time YouTubers, it's like, you strike it rich when fidget spinners are on the hand of every kid and they've got 10 in their pockets, but suddenly when fidget spinners go away, what does the company who make fidget spinners do? They make something else. And if you don't make something else, then you kind of go by the wayside. Any kind of trendy thing that gets super popular, it's going to have its down. It's just the way it is. I mean, Jinko jeans aren't going to be famous forever, but they were famous and really popular when I was in junior high. They had their short moment of comeback. But, you know, it's like, we don't wear the same brands. We don't wear the same trends. Things kind of come and down, up and down. You'll see things like Polo and Tommy Hilfiger and Calvin Klein that were classics. And then they kind of had their downturn. And then they kind of had their upturn. And everything does that. And YouTube, it's not going to be any different. So for someone to diversify their channel, and I know people get annoyed when people talk about brands and they talk about this or that. And yes, that can get annoying, but at the same time, they're pretty smart to put out a product, to put out a makeup line, to put out a clothing line, something else to diversify their platform. At some point eventually, although YouTube I don't think will die out, the beauty community will find its flatline. It'll kind of find its standard, because I feel like it was on such a rise and then it kind of peaked and then it's coming down. We're going to find our middle ground. And for those of us who just love to talk about makeup, we're always going to be here. But for those who are just writing it for the big bucks, I think people as a general rule have a herd mentality. When everybody's going somewhere, that's where everybody wants to go. When everybody leaves, everybody wants to leave. Everybody wants to support Graveyard Girl again because Shane Dawson does, so everyone's going to support her. And will that stick around? Hopefully. But there's a thing, is maybe people are going to get sick of what she makes, maybe they don't. We just honestly don't know. I feel like I have a different perspective just because I've never had that super shot to stardom, star overnight, I made 2 videos and suddenly I'm hot and popular. That never happened for me. So I'm just looking at it as it from someone who creates but never experienced that. But I can see where if I had, you know, gotten a viral video, or say that I became famous for the anti-hauls and suddenly I was making thousands of dollars a month and then that went away, I could see where that would be hard. But at the same time, if you're doing the same thing over and over again and people are bored of it, nothing's going to change. I just don't think that it's going to help if you upload more frequently if you're just doing the same content. And if you want to keep doing the same content and that's what makes you happy, then you have to accept that there's going to be a certain amount of people who are just going to move on. They might stay subscribed, they might unsubscribe. But if people are growing and changing and they're into different things, then that's just the way it is. I think it's also been a weird place for YouTubers to change, because people will say, you've changed, you change, you change. Your channel isn't in the same anymore. You used to do this. How come you don't do that? It's hard to not change, but it's also hard to change because then people don't like change. They don't want your channel to be different. They want you to keep doing the same things. They want you to do reviews, but yet they don't want you to get PR. Or it's that weird thing where, I'm using Bunny as an example, but like, she started changing, but she didn't want to show she had changed, so she hid her money, she hid her house, she hid her nice cars, where it actually made really interesting content for her to show those things. But then you have some people who come across, and I'm not against plastic surgery in any way, but you do have YouTubers who come out and they're more genuine, but then you start to see a lot of plastic surgery, you start to see a lot of high-end brands, you start to see Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all these things, and then people feel like has changed in a way that makes them unrelatable to them, and what they loved about them being so down-earth and everyday, they no longer can access that. So it's a fine line between changing to evolve with your content, but without outgrowing your audience to where they feel like they can't relate to you anymore. So see, it's a very interesting place, and some people have been able to do it and some people haven't. Now, to play a little bit of devil's advocate, we're going to look at another side of this, the side from the watcher. Now, I'm not saying that YouTube is easy. It is not easy to do this as a full-time job and to create and edit videos and upload them. I know it's a full-time job. It can be stressful. You can deal with hate. There's lots of negative things, as there is with any profession. And I know people give YouTubers a bad rap for having so much makeup and all these things when it is their job. It is legit your job to buy makeup to review, so why do they get hate for having so much makeup? I get all of that, okay? I totally understand because I have created videos, obviously. What I'm saying is, from the viewer's standpoint, when they are constantly being bombarded with negative messages of, I hate my channel and this never works, and I know I'm guilty of that too. I know that I am. But I think from a viewer's point, when they see the constant negativity of YouTube sucks and I'm not getting views and this and this and this, and they're complaining, and it's like, you get to make videos from your home. You don't have to go to work to a 9 to 5. You don't have to have a boss. There's so many perks that someone on the outside is like, why? You get to make videos. Like, okay, for me, when I was making 3-4 videos a week, someone else is getting paid $100,000 or more a year to do what I'm doing and making $100. Like, obviously that would be amazing, because I feel like that would be a pretty awesome job. So for us small creators or people who don't create videos to look at someone who has been literally given a giant house, a giant everything, and then they complain about it, it's kind of like, well, I think it turns people off when they feel like there's this constant negativity of like, oh, well, I'm not getting views and blah, 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 blah. Or like the total begging for likes, like, get this video to 5,000 likes. And, you know, we all need to ask for likes and subscribes because it's competitive. But there's that fine line where people are like, wow, you have a pretty awesome job and you hate it so much, then why are you doing this? It's a really difficult thing to understand, and I feel like I can see both sides of it, but I think that also turns viewers off when they feel like people are complaining about it so much. I don't have any answers to how to make this YouTube thing work. I don't know how to make your videos get seen or notifications work or make good content even. I don't know how to do any of that, but these are just my thoughts and opinions on it. Like I said, I'm not here to make money. I'm just here to make friends. I enjoy my time talking with you guys. I love when you guys comment and give me any kind of feedback. I learned so much. Like when you guys comment on my videos and say, try this or have you tried that? Like, I feel like it's so genuinely useful and helpful for me. And for someone who's a stay-at-home mom and my husband works long hours, it's nice for me to have a way to branch out and make friends. So to me, the root and the reason why I do this has not changed. So if I suddenly made it rich or I suddenly broke and I had no money at all, I'm still going to be here making my videos until it stops serving its purpose, which is creating a hobby for me. And if my hobby and interest change, then maybe I'll stop making videos. But for those people who are struggling in their channels, they're just going to have to figure out how to create content that people want to see. And right now, I think that's changing a little bit for everyone. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me for my chit chat, get ready with me. I hope you guys like this real talk. I'm sorry I talked so fast. I just wanted to really get out as much information as I could in a short amount of time. Here's how my makeup look turned out. Kind of different, a little more just shimmer all over the lid with a giant wing. So, lots of shimmer today. Alright, thanks again for watching. Here's my social media if you guys haven't followed me already on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook. You can check me out here. And while you're at it, you can watch some videos right here from me. Don't forget to subscribe up above. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!